It's time for a new hobby, and after taking a look at some flyers posted up around town, you decide that boxing is the perfect new activity for you. Learning to throw and block punches to protect yourself in case you ever get into a fight doesn't seem like a bad thing, and neither does the idea of getting into better shape while you're at it. Within hours, you've signed up for your very first boxing lesson and are already in the gym along with a few other new recruits. The instructor wants to see what you've got though, so he knows what he's working with. So he slaps some headgear and a body protector on you and throws you into the ring. Don't worry, he says, you're only going to be facing off against the wife of one of the boxing club's owners. And it's not a for-real sparring match just to see what moves you already know. Not what you were expecting on your first day, but maybe this is how things work in the boxing gyms, you think. As she climbs into the ring, she seems vaguely familiar and makes you think about 70s sports action movies for some reason. You shrug away the thought and start your lesson, but as the bell rings to start the round and you start heading out of your corner into the center of the ring, the next thing you know, you trip on your untied shoelace and fall forward face first. As you fall though, you swing your arms out to catch yourself and your fist connects right with the woman's face, knocking out 2 of her front teeth completely by accident. You're horrified as she starts crying, and then suddenly you hear it, a booming voice coming from behind you.
Hey yo, Adrian, what's going on, Adrian?
Then you realize who you've been sparring against, the wife of none other than the world heavyweight champion and commie crusher extraordinaire, the pride of Philadelphia, Rocky Balboa. Seeing that you've accidentally knocked out her 2 front teeth, Rocky roars in rage and thrusts a finger in your direction. You and him officially have a date in the ring, and it's not for the world heavyweight title, it's for your life. So you decided that learning how to box would be a pretty cool thing to do, but then inadvertently punched the wife of a 70s sports action hero star Rocky Balboa in the face and knocked her 2 front teeth out. And now the most feared boxer in the world wants to rip your head off in the ring. How in the world are you going to defeat Rocky? Standing 5 feet 11 inches, weighing in at 216 pounds, 81 fights, 57 wins, a whopping 51 of those wins by knockout. Rocky Balboa needs no introduction, but just in case you have terrible taste in movies and have never seen a single Rocky film, we'll give you a brief one. Rocky grew up in the streets of Philadelphia and was an amateur boxer by day and a leg-breaking debt collector for criminal interests by night. Not well liked by people, Rocky was a local underdog until one day the world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed finds himself in need of a new opponent for a highly publicized boxing match on New Year's Day, 1976, the year of the United States' bicentennial. Apollo thus decides he wants to give a local boxing underdog a shot, although he has no expectation of losing his fight. Rocky is then invited to prove himself in an unprecedented shot at the world title. In front of thousands of screaming fans, Rocky and Apollo engage in a brutal boxing match that pushes both men to their breaking points. Apollo has superior technique and skill, but Rocky has an almost supernatural ability to absorb punishment and keep pushing on. Rocky's nose is broken and his eyes are swollen nearly shut, but Apollo suffers serious internal bleeding and bruised ribs. After 15 grueling rounds, the judges call the match in favor of Apollo, but only by the slimmest of margins. From there, Rocky would get another chance at the world title when Apollo Creed challenged him to a rematch. Unable to bear the media's claims that he only won because the judges gifted the more famous champion a decision, Apollo runs a smear campaign against Rocky until Rocky finally accepts a rematch. Still the superior technical fighter, and with the left-handed Rocky fighting right-handed to protect a detached retina, which could cause him to go blind, Apollo gains a massive score lead. Ignoring his trainers who tell him to fight defensively in the 15th round and win by points, Apollo insists on knocking Rocky out, and in the last few seconds, both men fall to the mat. Rocky heroically picks himself up at the last second, with Apollo Creed suffering his first ever KO. From there, Rocky would go on to defend his title against other boxing villains, including his legendary match against the Soviet-engineered superboxer Ivan Drago, where he defeated the Soviet Union's greatest boxer and ended the Cold War single-handedly. Good news for the Western world. The bad news for you is that you're up against the most feared boxing champion in world history, and even worse news is that if Rocky loves anything more than boxing, it's his wife, whose teeth you knocked out with your ill-timed stumble. Now he's looking to not just remove your own 2 front teeth, but your very head from your shoulders. And you've got 30 days to train to beat Rocky in a one-on-one death match in the ring. The first thing you're gonna have to work on if you want a chance at survival is your diet. Boxing heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz Jr., who has his own Rocky-like underdog story when he overcame 30-to-1 odds to win his own championship via TKO. Even though he may not look like the most shredded fighter in the world, Ruiz is still in amazing shape and has a very specific food regimen he sticks to every day when he's training for a new fight, and you're going to be adopting his diet. For breakfast, he typically has a 3-egg omelet with mushrooms, spinach, and avocado. Avocado is basically a superfood, but it's also rich in fat and super good about making you fat if you just sit around all day. If you don't like vegetables, then you better get used to eating them, because vegetables contain many vitamins and minerals essential to repairing damaged muscles and helping them grow. For lunch, he has either a chicken salad or a chicken wrap, and the key here is that both of these are heavier on lean chicken and accompanying vegetables than on thick, creamy dressing. It does you no good to eat healthy if you're just going to drown your salads or wraps in 10,000 calories worth of ranch. In between lunch and dinner, or throughout the day, Ruiz enjoys servings of either nuts, fruits, or another healthy wrap, such as chicken and cucumber. Once more though, light on the dressing. Finally, for dinner, he has either steak, chicken, or fish accompanied by pasta or rice. Pasta here doesn't mean 3 cheese tortellini or a helping slice of beef lasagna, but rather simple pastas that are both light on the sauce and cheese. The next thing is gonna be to work on your cardio. You're gonna start running, and running a lot. You want to be doing at minimum 3 miles a day, and that should be before breakfast. Later in the evening, you'll want to be hitting the track or a treadmill and do another 3 miles, alternating sprints with jogging. Running may not make you hit harder or faster, but it will give you the endurance that you need to go the distance. It doesn't matter if you're able to knock someone's head off in one shot if you can't last long enough to get that shot. To add to your cardio routine, you're going to be doing all kinds of supplemental calisthenic workouts, including jumping jacks, burpees, planks, and squats. In the weight room, you'll be working on a total body workout, because punching power doesn't just come from your arms and chest. In fact, a proper punch starts down in your legs, and a champion boxer can deliver power from his leg muscles up through his lower back muscles and then into his arms and finally his fist. That's right, a good punch should be using up most of your body, and you should be twisting your hips with each punch in order to channel the power up your legs to your fist. So don't make like most gym rats and simply work on the upper body, hiding your scrawny legs under sweatpants. You're in it to win it, so you need to be hitting those squats and leg lifts just as hard as the pull-up bar and bench press. Next, you'll need to work on speed, which means it's punching bag time. You should be doing at least 5 minutes full power sessions with the punching bag, strengthening the muscles in your forearms and arms to help make your guard strong. You don't just want to be able to deliver bone-crunching punches, you want to make sure that you're able to block them as well. Think yoga is for hippie nerds? Think again, because you're also going to be engaging in a whole lot of yoga. Only we're not talking about the stuff your mom does before she goes all namaste over her local Starbucks. We're talking about some seriously advanced yoga. You're going to want to work on strengthening and lengthening your tendons all over your body and making sure that you increase your flexibility. This is critical for boxers to avoid injury, and increased flexibility and stronger tendons can even add to your reach. All that working out is going to come with a risk of injury. So by working on your stretches and starting a hardcore yoga routine, you'll not only be helping prevent injury in the ring, but injury during your training. Finally, it's time for technique. You decided to finally cash in those birthday checks that Grandma's been sending you and hire a real trainer. Professional boxing trainers can cost in the tens of thousands of dollars, and luckily, Grandma got a little confused on a few of the birthday checks and added some extra zeros. So we're able to hire one of the best. Most pros usually train at least 6 to 8 weeks for a fight, but since you've only got 30 days, we're going to focus on getting the basics down. A quick jab, a strong cross, a crushing hook, and a solid guard. So you've been hitting the gym for 30 days straight, working on your diet and your yoga with so much devotion you could basically open up your own inner peace yoga studio and practicing your technique every extra minute of the day. Now it's time for fight night. Time to fight for the title, or in this case, your life. You're going to want to get amped, and hopefully you've been watching videos of Rocky's past fights to learn his technique. The most important thing to do though is to limit your fear response and center yourself mentally to a place where you're accepting the physical abuse your body is inevitably about to take. Our brains naturally reel from the impact of an injury in order to keep us safe. But in the ring, the greatest secret to success, and certainly one that Rocky has mastered, is the ability to know when to take a blow so that you can deliver a devastating counter blow. You're going to have to psych yourself up and prepare to take a little damage. Okay, a lot of damage. Now that you're in the ring, how are you going to beat Rocky? Well, just like all boxers, that part's up to you. We've been the man in your corner throughout this whole ordeal, and just like a great boxing trainer, we can prepare you physically and mentally as much as possible, but in the end, it's you that's got to go toe-to-toe with the champ, and honestly, we really prefer it that way. Hopefully you live to tell the tale, because even the Soviet Union's best sports medicine scientists couldn't engineer a boxing champion tough enough to stand up to the Italian stallion. Don't worry though, we totally got your back. Now, if you'll excuse us, we need to find a bookie still taking last-minute bets. Oh yeah, we're definitely putting our money on you. We believe in you. Psst, hey, $100 on Rocky. Go watch You versus the Terminator. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more great content.